welcome to Dear Katie, the podcast that amplifies courageous voices and real stories of resilience, healing, and hope after trauma. Inspired by the many letters Katie has received over the last 20 years, each week she interviews survivors, healers, and experts to honor their stories and explore the many paths to healing and hope. Before we begin, please know, many episodes of Dear Katie cover sensitive topics related to sexual violence, trauma, and recovery. Listen with care and take the space you need to take care of yourself. Your well-being is what matters most. Now, let's join Katie and today's guest for a conversation that matters.
Hi, everyone. It is Katie Kestner, the Dear Katie podcast. Welcome back. Please continue on that journey with hopefully journaling. Every single guest, I feel like, offers so many different ideas and tips and really empowering ways to heal and grow stronger. As always, you can push pause, you can take a breath of fresh air, go for a walk. If you can do somersaults, definitely chocolate, whatever works for you with good, change it up. Take a breath. Definitely, I feel like each episode brings so many emotions. So sometimes you might feel angry, maybe sad, maybe just how am I ever going to get to where the guest is with my healing? You just never know what's going to come up for you. So please don't worry. There's no rush. There's lots of resources. So Take Back the Night is full of them. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about Abby and then let her share her story and journey. Abby is a 20-year-old currently rising junior at the University of Kansas. She's studying social work. She cares deeply about helping others and giving back to the community. She is a survivor, and her experience has shaped who she is and pushed her toward things that are meaningful in a different way. That's what led her to get involved with advocacy. She has contributed to the passing of a law called SB 358 in Kansas. It removes bail after conviction for high-level offenders. We can't wait to learn about that. She was also honored to receive the Community Champion Victim Service Award in Wichita, which means a lot because her work is so personal. And she is extremely passionate about helping people feel heard and supported and never alone. So welcome to the show, Abby. And it's Abby Stark.
Yes.
So I'll say that too. But welcome to the show, Abby. And I know when we just were chatting, you're in Minnesota at the moment, not in Kansas. But so you grew up in Minnesota, or were you somewhere else when you were little?
I grew up in Minnesota my whole life. I'm in the same house that I was born into.
Okay. And when Minnesota's bigger than a lot of people think. I feel like it's like a lot of water around it, and there's even like whole sections that are kind of far north next to Canada.
Yeah.
Which part are you nearest? Are you near the Twin Cities or like somewhere up and around?
I'm near the Twin Cities. I'm about 45 minutes south of like Minneapolis and St. Paul.
Okay, there's a college there. I believe in the Green Giant is on I feel like there's a billboard when St. Ben's and St. John's College.
Yes.
Is that near where you are?
Yes, I think that's about maybe around 40-ish. I think it's by the Twin Cities too.
Yep. Okay, cool. So what did you do in school growing up? Like, did you do music, sports? Like, what kinds of stuff were you into?
I did volleyball probably since I was about 8 years old, and I just continued. I played club volleyball a lot, and then I did high school volleyball, which took up a lot of my time, but I wasn't really I've tried basketball and all that stuff, and I just
volleyball
was not good at it. Yeah.
I always thought I hope you're tall. Like, I am not that tall, and I was just trying to, like, when people would spike down, I was like, I could never ever get up there and like block the spikes. It was so impossible.
Yeah.
But it's at least that you can play it pretty much everywhere. I feel like you see volleyball like at every college and beaches everywhere. So do you play at school as well?
Just for fun, I'm in a sorority, so I play with some of my sisters.
Awesome. So, so mainly volleyball. How did you choose like where you went to school? Did you know anybody there? It's like a big jump.
Yeah. So everyone in Minnesota pretty much goes out of state. So I toured a bunch of different schools, and I just kind of got really stressed one day, and I was like, I like purple. And I didn't want to go where I knew people. I kind of wanted like a fresh start. And so I kind of just chose somewhere far.
Okay, but at least it's a lot warmer
Yeah.
during the winter. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
it probably doesn't even snow much, like a little bit.
It's more just, yeah, it's really cold. If it does get snow, I feel like we get a lot of snow. And it's not really like the flurries that Minnesota gets like every day in the winter. It's either a lot of snow or nothing.
Okay, and then it probably melts and disappears.
Yeah, and it's so gross, like the slush. It's so gross.
Okay, and when you do you join a sorority like freshman year, or do you like in the fall, or do you rush in the spring? Like, when did you join your sorority?
So most people, we do like right when we get there. So I moved in probably a week early than everyone else at Kansas State, and I went through recruitment there. But we do some like spring like rushing and stuff like that, but I did the big one where it's like all the girls and everything.
Okay, so there's like a main one, and you were involved in that. Okay.
Yes.
And how is it overwhelming? Like, how do you know which one to choose? Like, do they just heavily recruit you, or do you just get a vibe?
I kind of just went like vibe. You go to all the houses, and then they like cut you from the house, and then you rank them.
Oh,
So it kind of goes off like ranking, and you just go to each house and you talk to a bunch of different girls there. And I just connected with one of the girls that was talking to me at my sorority, and I just felt like it was my home.
oh.
And so I went there.
And is it where you live in the house, or do girls live there too?
Yes. So it's mostly sophomores live there, and then some juniors will live with the sophomores as well.
And do you have like a house mom? I don't know. I used to a lot of times when I was like in college and 20s speaking, I would go from college to college to college and speak. And then if the sorority was hosting me, they would just usually let me stay in the house, which was awesome because the food was good. And they had so many shower gels. I was like, this is the best. So I stayed in some of them as I traveled. I don't know about Kansas State, but and is this rule still no boys in the house? Like, no boys in the house.
Yes, there's no boys.
No boys.
I think it's nice. It's like a nice, like peaceful,
clean
place.
Like,
yeah,
doesn't smell bad.
No.
Right. And then the fraternities, do they have like fraternity row there too? Is it like sorority court or sorority row? Like, how is it set up?
We call them neighborhoods.
Okay.
So it's not like, I know some colleges, they have it all like in a row, which I think that'd be really cool, but ours is neighborhoods. So I think there's like 4 different neighborhoods for like sororities and fraternities there.
Do you have like in one neighborhood, would you mix fraternities and sororities near each other, or?
Yeah, sometimes. Mine is in a neighborhood with about like, I think 3 other sororities and then 1 fraternity.
Okay. And then the fraternities, are they allowed to have parties in the house?
So some of them are wet houses where they can have the parties and alcohol, and then other ones are dry houses, so then they get a separate like house, and they dedicate that house to parties.
The party house.
Yeah.
Oh no. Does anyone live in the party house, or like?
It's mostly like seniors that live in of that fraternity.
Oh, gotcha.
And they'll like offer their house up.
Oh, that totally makes sense. And when you started at Kansas State, did you already have like a major in mind, or did you just come into what you're doing now as you kind of took more classes?
I originally was criminology, and I wanted to go into like the law side. And then that kind of changed after everything happened.
Okay. So you came in doing crim, and then, so let's talk. So you arrive, you've rushed, you're not living in the house though at this point, you're living on campus. And what, I guess maybe just describe like the scene generally at Kansas State. Like some of the schools I go to, they'll like have like the football team has their parties, and then some of the players are in some fraternities, but there seems like like athlete parties, Greek parties. How does it work at Kansas State? Would you describe like the party environment?
That's pretty much it. The athletes definitely do have like their own parties, and then the Greek organizations do have their own parties, mostly. And then we also have like the bars and stuff.
Oh,
The
right.
big thing, the big thing is what we have at our schools. We call like mixers, and it's with just a fraternity and then one sorority. So it's just a party between those two people. And then on the week, that usually happens like Thursday, Wednesdays. And then the parties are like thrown over the weekend where everyone can come to a certain fraternity, or if they want to go to the bars, they
Where they're
can.
more open. And the bars probably have like, do they have people doing carding at the door or not so much?
They do, and then we do have a couple bars that are 18 plus.
Oh,
So you can get in if you're 18, you just can't drink.
Right. I feel like everyone, I mean, pitchers are beer everywhere. Like it's not hard once you're in, like, to get drinks. But and so would you say, like, were you ever shocked your freshman year? Like, wow, this is crazy. People are getting sick all the time, or is it people not drinking as much, or there are other drugs? Like, what was your impression coming from high school in Minnesota?
I wouldn't want to say surprise. I just think seeing it first, like seeing it in time is kind of more shocking. So you're just like, oh, especially freshman year, it's really kind of interesting to see how everyone handles their alcohol.
Right. Or doesn't handle it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like the stereotypes are still true. Like people get pretty darn sick and because they're not used to it, or you don't even know like how much you're drinking because it's like group pours and like somebody else hands you. Is it more, I don't know. I was speaking in South Carolina and they were like, the girls mostly do wine before and then vodka at the parties. Like, is there a stereotype, like what guys will drink versus what girls are drinking, or does it just depend on the person?
I think it just depends on the person. Just kind of, honestly, if it's a fraternity, it's probably whatever they can get their hands on.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the other question I was thinking too, do you know if are you still, well, there was swells or waves of like people drugging drinks and being roofied. Like, is that still a thing, or do you not hear about that so much?
You hear a lot about it. I feel like in the beginning of the years, we have this thing, it's called Shark Night, and it's the first night that all the girls can go out after they finished rushing or going for recruitment. And it's basically as like freshmen are the fresh bait for the guys.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that night, Shark Night, and it's the first night everyone is meeting each other. I think that's probably the most I hear about it.
Did anyone like end up, you're like, oh my God, I don't remember what happened. Like, did anyone have that?
Yes, but I feel like now people like brush it off more. They're like, oh, you just drank too much. Even if they're like, I didn't.
Yeah.
It's more kind of like blaming
the girl. Oh gosh, that's a lot. And then I guess, did you have like your roommate? Did you use like the buddy system, as they say, or did you did you guys get along okay, or how was that because you didn't know anybody?
Yeah. So in my dorm, I had 4 roommates.
Oh, like a quad.
And it was, like one side it's me and one roommate, and the other side is the other 2 roommates. And we all got along great. They're wonderful, like girls. They all knew each other before. They all went to high school together. And so I joined. Yeah. And so we had like all of us on Life 360 and each other's text messages.
Oh, that's good. So you could watch out for each other. Did you tend to like go to the same party to start out, or?
Yeah, we went with each other. Like they were all in other sororities, not in my sorority. Okay. So we all basically ended up sometimes at the same places, but we would go with our sorority friends to the different parties.
Okay. And would you say like your sorority or the sororities generally were good about looking out for each other? It just depended.
Yeah, I think the girls I've always met, we were, like, even strangers in different sororities, they all really look out for each other. And it's kind of like I think, thing in Greek life is to watch out for each other.
Good. That's awesome. I'm glad they still do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what's like current, or even like unique to Kansas State, right? Like you have, and for people who don't know, like how big is the campus and what percentage do you think are in the Greek system? Like, how many thousands of people go there?
I'm not really good with numbers, but I would say it's a pretty big campus.
Like 20, 30,000?
Yeah.
It's pretty big.
That sounds about right.
And then,
and Greek life is pretty big. I'd say probably 30% or 40. Like, yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of when I was there last to speak and like what I remember. Yeah, that's amazing. And then, did you like definitely always want to be in sorority? Because it sounds like you got there early to go for it.
Yeah.
Was your mom in the sorority? The same one?
Yeah. No, she went to Iowa State. And she was in a sorority, and her sorority isn't at Kansas State, but she always spoke like super high.
Oh, good.
Of her friends like all her friends that I know now are from her sorority.
Oh, that's nice. They stayed friends for life.
Yeah.
That's really good. You see like photos and like sorority sisters are like going on vacay now, like when their kids are done with college, like they're all back to partying together. Yeah, it's quite the sisterhood. Well, I think so. Set us up for like what happened, and then like whatever you want to share. Like, do you want to start with that day? Like, what time of year? Like, what was going on that day?
So it was only about 2 weeks into my freshman year, and it was a mixer. So it was with my sorority and then another fraternity. So it was just us two.
Okay. And your sorority, who picks? Like, do the fraternities pick, or did the presidents get together and like organize the schedule? Do you even know?
Yeah. So each different organization has a social chair, they call it. And so each social chair will reach out to a fraternity, or the fraternity social chair will reach out to the sorority social chair, and they'll just kind of pick dates. So they usually they pick like a whole calendar, and it's like a
whole semester. Oh my gosh, that's rigorous.
Yeah.
I'd be like, do I have enough outfits?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that's a lot. That's intense. And are you expected to go to all of them, would you say, or like?
You don't have to go if you don't want to. There's definitely a group like in my sorority that don't go to the mixer, so it's not like you have to go to this thing. If you want to go, you go.
Does the fraternity charge a fee for the alcohol, or it's just free? You show up.
It's free for the girls.
It's free for the girls. But male guests pay. Gotcha. That sounds like what is it? Ladies' night at the bar, free drinks for the women. It's totally the same. Okay, so you're 2 weeks in, and how do you remember? Like at that point, do you feel like you were getting to classes, like you were navigating like college life pretty well? Did you feel like fairly solid, just adjusting?
Yeah, I had a hard time like the first couple of days just without my parents, but by the time...
Do you have any siblings? I didn't ask.
Oh, yes, I have a brother. He just graduated high school.
Oh, so younger.
And he's going to Montana State next year.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty far too. Your parents are going to have no one home.
I know, they're empty nesters.
Except for in the summer, you're going to like fly back. Okay, so you're feeling pretty good. You have this mixer. What night of the week was it?
Thursday.
A Thursday. Okay. So, and do they start like at 9, 10, 11? Like, how late are we going?
Yeah.
I always felt like
they start at 9.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to be like 9. Study or practices, then like get ready, then show up a little late.
Yeah.
And so you go with a group, like do y'all, or just a couple of you went over together?
Yeah, so I had a little group that I hung out with before, so we all kind of got ready together. It was me and two other girls that went to the mixer, and we arrived there together.
Okay. And so you walk in, and do they have live music? Is it like a band playing?
It's I think it's just like on a speaker. Each mixer does have different themes.
Oh.
So the theme for this mixer is "Why Is This in My Closet?" So people were
something
wearing
crazy, like a boa,
costumes,
wigs.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
So do you probably remember every detail? Like what was your closet item?
Yeah. It was a shirt just of a singer.
Okay.
And then I just had biker shorts on.
So you're over there, and then do you stick with people, or like is there dancing, like ping pong, like what's going on?
It's mostly just like mingling. Everyone's kind of talking. The girls see each other, so we're all hugging and like, screaming like, "Oh my gosh, nice to see you." And then a lot of the times, it was different for me because I'm from Minnesota, but a lot of the times I found that like people knew each other, like within like my sorority and their fraternity. So it was
like they went to high school
together.
Okay. So
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember what they were serving? Like what were the drinks? Was there any food? No food, or
there was no food, but there was like a bartender, which it really isn't a bartender. It's just a guy handing you a drink.
Okay.
But they call it the bartender. And they also had big buckets of like seltzers too that you could just go grab.
And so you get there around 9-ish?
Yeah, I think 9:30, 9:45.
And you're just hanging out with people. And had you grabbed a drink at the bar?
Yes, I had.
And do you know what it was?
It was a Truly.
Okay.
Just a seltzer.
Okay. And then what happens next?
So I'm just kind of mingling, and I just was kind of standing somewhere, and a guy had kind of turned around. It's also really packed. It's a really small house. It's really hot. And a guy kind of turned around and started talking to me about my shirt, about the singer that was on my shirt.
Okay. And you had never seen him before?
No.
Okay. And were you all kind of by yourself by then?
No, I kind of was in the middle of the house, and there was my friends that I came with were like right by me, and there was like, it was almost like you couldn't really move in this house because it was so packed.
Oh my gosh, sardines. That would drive me crazy. I'm like claustrophobic.
And it was August too, so it was so hot. I remember.
Oh, and sweaty.
Yeah.
You probably stick to everyone.
I know.
So you're talking to this guy, and then how does that go, or what kinds of things happen then?
We kind of just talked about, he was like, "Where are you from?" I said Minnesota. He was like, "Oh my gosh, that's so far away," because everyone at K-State is mostly like from Kansas. And so we were just talking about our families. I remember talking about my brother, and he was an only child. But it was mostly just really basic get to know you conversations.
And how were you feeling about him? Was you interested? Was he like potential potential boyfriend? You know what I mean? Like, was there any connection or not really?
The conversation was really good. I mean, I was enjoying talking to him. And so I kind of just kept talking. It wasn't like, oh, he's giving creepy vibes.
Okay,
It was
no
mostly
creepy vibes. Gotcha. And then how long would you say that was? Like a half hour or?
Probably about like 20 minutes.
Okay.
We talked for a little bit.
And then what happened after that?
One of my friends had went outside that I came with, and I think she was just really like hot, and she was getting like stressed that there's just so much people. And so I didn't know she went outside, so I looked for her. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I could see my friend through the window. And so I was like, oh, my friend's outside. So I went outside and he followed me outside.
Okay.
And we were kind of just chatting with the people outside.
And how long did that, like, how long were you guys there?
Outside, we were probably about 15 to 20 minutes again. We were just kind of talking with my friend, trying to calm her
Yeah,
down.
sounds like it. And then she got calm.
Yeah, we decided that we were going to leave the party.
Okay. And she was going to go with you. You two decided, or?
Yeah, so every time they have a mixer, they have these things called DDs, and it's like a younger fraternity guy is on call, and they'll drive girls to and from the party. So we had decided to call a DD to bring her back to her dorm, and her dorm was in a different dorm than mine was. And so I was going to drop her off at the dorm and walk back to my dorm.
Okay, gotcha. And so you guys are in the car?
Yeah, so it was just going to be me and her and my other friend. And then the guy was like, I don't want you walking alone, so I'll go with you to drop your friend off, and then I'll walk you to your dorm.
Okay. And so you do that, like you drop the first girl off, and this other girl,
Yes.
She's in your building or a different one?
She's in a different one. So all my stuff was at her dorm because that was the dorm that we got ready in. And so we went to her dorm and got dropped off, and I got my stuff. And then that's when we started walking back.
Towards your dorm?
Yes.
With all your stuff. And the guy was still with you to, quote, walk with you and protect you?
Yes.
And was it a long walk or like 10-minute walk, you think?
It was about a 20-minute walk, 20 to 25-minute walk. So it was pretty far. It was across campus.
And then you get to your dorm?
So we actually stopped because as soon as we walked outside of my friend's dorm, we made about 5 minutes and it started downpouring.
Oh gosh. Okay.
And yeah, it was like straight downpouring. And his fraternity was about only 5 minutes from where we were at compared to my dorm that was 20 minutes. And so that's ultimately how we ended up at his place, because he was like, oh, it's closer. Do you want to just go back to where I am?
Okay. So then you two, and I'm sorry, did you say he's in a dorm or he was in a house?
He was in the fraternity house.
Oh, in the house, but not the house where the party was, or different?
No, it was the party was at the party house.
Oh, one of those.
So it wasn't
setups. Okay. So
Yes.
you're now back in the fraternity house, but there's a different neighborhood than where you are.
Correct. I think there's about, like a 15-minute walk from where I am.
Okay. So
like my dorm.
So it's still pouring. You guys run in there. And then is there anyone else in the house, or like, did he say like watch TV? Like, what did you guys end up doing first?
So we first put all my stuff that I got from my friend's dorm in his room. And then he gave me a house tour of the fraternity because I'd never been in it. And I don't recall seeing a lot of people in the house. I think people were still out either at the mixer that we were having or at the bars. There weren't many people in his fraternity house yet.
And so you do this whole tour, and then does the rain stop? Like, are you like, I'll go now? No,
it kept raining. And so we ended up, after the tour, we ended up standing like in the basement and just kind of talking. My roommate actually was dating a guy that was in that fraternity. And so we were talking about that for a little bit and just kind of conversing still about where we're from and all that stuff.
Cool. Okay. It sounds like it's going okay so far, right? Still no creepy vibes. Everything is good. This is crazy. Yeah. Okay. So then what happens?
So we end up going back to his room, and I think it's about, maybe it's like 12. And he has two other roommates, and how his room was set up is there was a bunk bed and then there was a single bed across the room. And so he was on the bottom bunk, and his other roommate had gotten home. And so we were just talking about where that guy was from. The roommate that had gotten home was pretty drunk, so it was kind of funny talking with him.
Okay, I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can so imagine.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's just acting crazy. And then what?
Yeah.
And then what happens?
So then another roommate comes home, and that guy was a DD, so he was completely sober, and he also actually was from Minnesota, which I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. I haven't met anyone from Minnesota yet. So we talked a little bit with him, and at that point, we like really jumped forward. It's about like 3. It's really late. So that's when we decided that we were going to go to bed because we had looked out the window and it was still raining.
Oh, wow. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
And you just said, I'm really tired and I'll crash here. Or did he suggest, like, you can just stay here?
Yeah, we both had a 9:30 the next morning.
Oh,
And
right.
so I had mentioned that I was like, oh, it's getting late. And he's like, yeah, let's just sleep here. And we both set our alarms. And at that point, I was fine with staying. I mean, there was no red flags or
Right.
anything.
That's why it's like, nothing was wrong. Okay.
Yeah.
And then what happens? You're trying to sleep. And are you on the bottom bunk where he is?
Yes. So I'm closer to the door, on my side facing the door, and then he's behind, like on his side behind me.
By the wall.
And so, yeah, by the wall. He's closer to the wall. And so we set our alarms, and I rolled over to my side and went to sleep. And about, I think, 10 to 15 minutes in, I could tell he was trying to wake me up, and he kept asking if he could put his hand under my bra. And I didn't respond because I knew if I had like woken up, then he would have probably tried to ask to do more. So I kind of just like rolled over more, like I was situating myself. And at that point, I think he asked about 3 times. He ended up just doing it anyways.
Oh my God, Abby.
Yeah.
Okay. And then did you just freeze? Do you remember? Because you weren't really drunk at all, right?
Oh no, because my friend was starting to like get upset, so I put my drink down. So I didn't even finish my can of alcohol that I had. So what was really weird for me is after he put his hand under my bra, I ended up still falling asleep because I was so tired. So I fell asleep.
Yeah, I mean, it was like almost morning. So you fell asleep, and then what do you remember next?
I remember waking. I was starting to come to because I had felt a bunch of pressure down, like around my private parts, and I remember I kind of like thought I was dreaming, and then I just kind of woke right up, and that's when he was assaulting me. Is I was on my back and my pants were down.
Oh my gosh. And did you just freeze? Like, oh my gosh, it's so traumatic. Abby,
I remember, yeah, I kind of like I think I was still confused. And then I remember I moved my hand to see what was going on. And then I started screaming at him.
Oh, wow. There were 2 other people in the room, right?
Yes, there was.
And what happened? Like, it must have been like, what, like 5 in the morning?
Yeah, it was extremely like early. And so I remember I got up and I was saying F you a bunch of times, and I kept saying you're disgusting. I was asleep. And I wasn't like my top level screaming, but I was pretty loud. And so I was trying to gather my things up to leave, and I could hear his top the top bunk roommate was starting to like shuffle or like like I could hear noises of someone like kind of waking up, I think. But I ended up grabbing my stuff and I left my shoes there. I had like slides that I had like worn to my friend's dorm, but I completely left my other shoes that I had there, and I just kind of got out of the room.
Oh, wow. What about that other guy that was like not in the bunk on the side? He never woke up? Oh, he was really drunk. He was probably passed out.
No, the really drunk guy was on the top bunk.
Sorry, I
and the
messed that
guy
up.
above.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. He says that he never woke up to it, but I mean,
Wow.
I was
Oh my
pretty
God.
loud, so
I don't believe it.
I beg to differ.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my God, Abby. Okay, so you get out of there and leave some of your stuff, and then what did you do next? You had 9:30 class. Did you go?
No. I first had to find a way out of the fraternity house because I could not figure out how to get out. So I remember I was like walking around the house and I could not find the front door, and I ended up finding it. But later on, you could see I like watched the cameras, and it not like I don't want to say it was funny, but you could tell I'm like trying to like walk around the house, and I just could not figure out how to get out. But I ended up getting out and standing on their front porch because at that point it was sprinkling. It wasn't raining yet. And I was trying to call people, like my friends, and it was like 5 in the morning, so everyone was asleep.
Right.
And so I ended up was like, oh, I'm just gonna walk back. And so I started walking back, but then I had started like kind of freaking out, like, oh, this just happened to me. And I didn't want to get in an Uber with someone else I didn't know. And so in my brain, I thought I'd just call campus police and to just take me back to my dorm. But of course, they're gonna ask a lot more questions.
Yeah.
When a girl is like on the side of the road.
Right.
And I told them what happened.
The campus police.
Yeah, so I told the 911 operator what had happened, but in the call I was saying I just wanted to go like to my dorm. I just wanted And so the police ended up coming out, and he put me in his car because it was still raining. And then he was like, let me call my supervisor and see what he wants to do.
Oh, wow.
And then the supervisor came in. He was really nice.
Oh, that's good.
And then he was like, I think you should go to the hospital to get a rape kit. But he kept saying it was completely like your decision. Like you can go get the rape kit and not do anything with it. So I decided to go to the hospital.
I'm so glad, Abby, that like that all worked out like that. And how did you, I like that you said he was really nice. Like, I wonder what you thought, like, why was it his tone of voice? Was it like words he was using? Did he say, are you okay? Did he say, I'm worried about you? Like, what do you remember him saying that was like comforting or good?
I can't remember for sure, but I think he said something about being a dad.
Oh.
And so I think that's I kind of just was, about how he had a daughter. And so I kind of was like, okay. And then I think the most thing that they did was like, they kept saying like, you can do this and then decide what you even want to do. Like if you don't want to end up reporting it, then we can keep it. And if you want to go back and report it later, then you can, and you still will have the rape kit.
That's awesome. I mean, like, that's good, right? I mean, like, this is all not good, but like, that was at least like really good. Okay, so I messed up. Like, did you actually go to the health center or the hospital? Where is it, a health center or a hospital?
It was a hospital that I went to.
And they took you there? You did go straight? Oh, good.
Yeah, in the car. Yeah, they took me in his police car.
And did they have did you have to go in through the emergency room, or did they have a special area where you could go?
I went through the emergency room, and then the police officer went up to like the front desk and said something, and then they took me to like a little corner, but it was still in the emergency room. But then the officer kind of like stood, like he wasn't sitting by me, but he was standing like a little in front of me till a nurse was able to come and get me, and we went into a separate room.
Oh, nice. Okay. And how did I hate to ask you to think about it, but how did it go? Like the whole process of getting the rape kit done?
It was okay. At first they had brought in a female police officer, and they took my story for a little bit, and I wasn't wanting to even say the guy's name at first, because they were asking me like the name, what does he look like, and I wasn't really giving it, and I ended up saying the name because they were just like, you can decide what you want to do later on. And then after finally saying like the story to them, I was able to go to a different room, and I had to lay there and wait for the nurse to even come to the hospital because she wasn't there.
Oh, right. It was
So
so
I
early.
didn't end up getting the rape kit till I think like 8:30 a.m. So I was probably in the like hospital room for about like 3 hours.
Oh gosh. All by yourself?
Yeah.
Did anyone else, a friend or anyone come?
I was able to reach one of my friends, so they came.
Was it one of the ones you went to the party with? Oh,
Yeah,
good.
it was.
Like the one who was outside, like freaking out, or a different one?
No, it was the other
Okay.
one. Yeah, the other one.
The one that was in the car as you guys were getting dropped off when you went to change at her house or her place.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes.
Sorry. Oh, wow. So then the rape kit was a lot, or was the nurse really like helpful in explaining every little thing they were doing? And
yeah, she was super nice. I remember she told me everything she was doing. Obviously it wasn't like fun. But she made it go pretty quick, so that was nice.
That's great. That's at least good. And then when you leave there, you're friends with you, and what do you do after that? Like what happens after that?
So one of my roommates, the one that was dating the guy that was in the same fraternity, saw my location, and it was at the hospital.
Right.
And so she called me, and I obviously told her what happened. And I think so she told her boyfriend. And as I was leaving the hospital, which I didn't really care.
Oh, good. I was like, she should have asked you.
Yeah. No, he was in the car with her when she called me.
Okay.
And so he ended up texting me because he had my number, and just asking like if I was okay and like they were gonna take care of this. And so he had asked me what happened, and I ended up just telling him. I was like,
that was amazing that you could do that, Abby, after being through so much. How did he respond? Do you say, I can't believe you did this? Like, or, what did he say? I'm like, oh my gosh, what does he say? Like, I believe you. I want him to say, I believe you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He
said,
because he's in the same house with this guy.
He said he was so sorry. And then he asked, I think he asked permission to tell his president.
Okay.
And so he told his president, and then he had ended up asking me if I felt okay meeting with the president like the same day. In hindsight, I thought I had to go because I'm like, oh my gosh, it's the president of the fraternity. I have to go. But I ended up going. Probably shouldn't have, but.
And you told him the whole story. Did he have anyone there with him, like the vice president, or like what about an advisor? Like, did the fraternity have an advisor, like an adult?
They did have an advisor, but he was not present. It was just me, and then it was my friend that I brought that came to the hospital, and then the chapter president
and the boyfriend of your friend. Oh, he wasn't there either.
He had something that he had to do, and he's like, is it okay if it's just you and him? And I was like, yeah. And he had grown up with the chapter president. He said that the guy was super nice, so I felt
so
fine
it went
meeting with him.
Like telling the president.
Yeah, I think he was doing the best. That obviously he's in his 20s, so like he mentioned that they sent him home for the weekend. They told him to like go home, the guy, and they wanted to. He did mention, he's like, can we try and keep this in-house, as in like.
Okay.
Probably
like not tell the police.
Like, I was like, well, I already went. Yeah, I already went to the police.
Yeah, for sure.
And there was like a new rule that Kansas State had like implemented, that they classified the fraternities as off-campus like housing. And so it was really, I got a lot of like confusion, because they were saying, well, if it's off campus, then Raleigh County, which is like the
Police in that town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That then they kept saying, if it's through them, you won't have a choice on if you want to report it or not, like going forward. So I couldn't really tell the president anything. I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen. But yeah, the meeting went fun. Oh, another thing was they asked me if I wanted an apology from the guy.
What did you say?
I said no. I said no. I said I don't want to speak to him. And then the president was like, well, what about like him like writing you a letter instead, and I can give it to your roommate and then you can read it. And I was like, sure.
Oh gosh.
But I was never gonna read it.
Yeah.
The apology never came anyways.
Oh,
but
wow.
Yeah.
And then so after that was all on the first day.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what a long day. And then what happens after the president meeting? Did you tell your parents yet?
Oh yeah. So on my way to the hospital, I had turned my location off for my mom, because I knew she'd be looking at my location and I don't want questions yet about it. And she clocked me probably at like 8 a.m. She's like, why is your location off? And I was still in the hospital at this point, and I was like, oh, nothing. Like, I'm just at a frat house and I don't want you to see the location. So I ended up calling her when I got back from the hospital with my friend. And that conversation was really hard. I don't know how a mom would be able to like listen to that. And she kept asking if I wanted her to come down, her and my dad. And at that point, I had just started getting used to not having like my parents with me.
Yeah, you had just left them like 2 weeks ago.
And I was just kind of like getting over the hump of not having them there. And I knew that they were going to be coming down at the end of September for family weekend. So I ultimately was like, I can just see you guys then. And so the phone call, I think, lasted like 10 minutes. And then I was like, okay, I got to go. Bye.
Wow. Okay, Abby, I was curious about that. And then later that night, could you even sleep? Like, did you go back to did you stay awake? Like, what happened after the meeting with the president?
So I went back to my dorm room, and that weekend was Labor Day weekend.
Right.
And so everyone was going home for the weekend.
Oh.
And yeah, but obviously since I'm from far away, I wasn't going to go home. And so I kind of just stayed in my dorm the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, like, oh my gosh, that must have been so long and hard to do that, right? And I guess, if you remember, what kinds of things were you going through in your head? Like, were you scared about like STD results, like pregnancy stuff? Like, I can't even imagine. Like, I know all the stuff I was thinking. I was like, I didn't even sleep for a couple of days.
I think I was just afraid of like what other people were gonna think. I still wasn't at that point, didn't know if I wanted to like keep going with the investigation or like what was gonna happen. So I was mostly thinking about what others were thinking.
Yeah.
Or what was I gonna do?
Messing up friend groups, or like we think.
Yeah. It was more of like, I don't want to be the girl that like known as the girl that this happened to. I didn't want people to like start treating me differently. And I had came to college for a fresh start.
I know.
And I didn't want that to be like my image.
Right. So how did you get to where you are now? Because I know I'm like, oh my gosh, an hour just is flying by.
Yeah.
I guess so tell us, I guess first, like, did you end up pressing charges? Like, tell us about that. And then it's only been, like less than 2 years. So tell us about like pressing charges, what the outcome was, and then we'll get to like kind of other things. Like I want to hear about the law and other things you've done.
Yeah. So I ended up, a detective called me, and it just kind of went from there. I told him what happened, and there never was really like a question of like, do you want to go through with this? I kind of just kept going with the meetings with investigators, and so he ended up being arrested in January of 2025, right when I got back to school from winter break. And he bailed out right away, but we just kind of kept going. And then the trial took place in October of 2025. And that was really hard. I was on the stand for 4 hours. The cross-examination, a woman cross-examined me and was a total, she was mad at me because my timeline was off by like an hour, and I kept saying I wasn't looking at the time, and she was getting mad. She even at one point had said, "Are you even taking this seriously?"
Oh my God, that's so insulting. That's so insulting.
Yeah.
That's horrific.
Yeah, so the trial was a week long, and then we had offered them plea deals before the trial because I was getting anxious. I didn't want to really have to testify. It was already in like the newspaper of, like this was happening. And so we offered multiple times of plea deals, and they denied it. And then we went through the trial. And then at the very end of the trial, when they're about to do closing statements, and I wouldn't say I was excited, but that was the first time I'd be able to be in the courtroom and listen to all the evidence, because my prosecutor couldn't tell me all the evidence. And I couldn't be in the room of the actual trial going on in case I were to get called back. And so I was so like interested to hear what they had. And then his lawyer approached the prosecutor, and they talked for like 30 minutes, and me and my mom were like, what's going on? And then we came back into like a little room with my prosecutor, and she told me that they offered a plea deal. And so I didn't want to take it at first because we had just went through a whole trial, but I had asked my prosecutor, and she was most concerned on like a hung jury, because not that it should matter, but he was young. And sometimes people have, and like if you're a young mom or anything, she was worried about like that stuff. And I had already said I was not going to testify again if we had to retry it. And so we ended up taking the plea deal. He was originally charged with rape and aggravated sexual battery, and he pleaded to 2 counts of just aggravated battery.
Not sexual battery? Just aggravated battery?
No, that was, yeah, that was, I know, that was the thing.
So angrifying.
Yeah.
So what, that's significantly lower. After all that you did, Abby, what does that translate into? Does he still go to prison, or?
No, so that was the thing that was their main, I think, to not go to prison. I think that they were scared or whatever. And so he is on probation. That was
how long is that? Do you know?
Punishment.
Like
3 years.
3. And what does that mean? Like a lot of people don't know what probation means. Like what does that mean?
Yeah. So he has to check in with his probation officer. He can't be around places that have alcohol. He can't have alcohol. Basically just like notifying an officer of wherever you are. They have to know where you are. He is subjected to random drug and alcohol testing. And if he were to break anything, like being on drugs or having alcohol, that's when he would go to prison for 5 years.
Okay. Well, it's better than nothing, but boy, a lot. Well, I'm so glad you're using your voice though, Abby. It's like amazing that you're so strong. And so that was in October, and like not the most recent one, but a year ago, right? A year and a half ago. or more than. And then,
Yeah.
so could he stay in college or did he leave?
He ended up leaving K-State, like a couple weeks after
Mhm.
the incident happened. I think he had got kicked out of the fraternity,
Okay.
let him go. And so I know he did online college for a little bit, and then at the trial, it came out that he was doing classes at Oklahoma State. So I know he's going to school in Oklahoma now.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's
Mhm.
let's end on like all the amazing things you've been doing and how you like the bill and what kind of
Yes.
activism are you doing?
Mhm. So a week after the trial, I was in like a really hard spot, and so I was talking with my prosecutor, and she had just tried a case of 19 women press charges against a chiropractor that sexually assaulted them, and he pled guilty on 51 counts, and he was allowed to go home that night,
Mm.
awaiting sentencing. And so they were like a big group of women, and my prosecutor thought that I should talk with them. So I ended up getting lunch with them, and they're like the most amazing group of women. Like I've never met like such strong women. And so that's how I got connected with them. And they started talking about wanting to, help change this law that allowed their person to be able to go home. Like one of the women lived right next to him. And so
Mm.
after the trial, he was allowed to go to that same house. And so at that point, their sentencing was at the end of October. So I started hanging out with them, and I went to their sentencing to see how my sentencing was going to be like, because my sentencing was in November. But then after the sentencing, there's just talks about wanting to do this. And we got in contact with a senator in Kansas that helped sponsor the bill. And that's just kind of how it started.
That is fantastic. At least that's something good. Like
Yes. I know.
survivors coming
Yeah.
together and like helping each other.
Mhm.
And certainly they were so grateful to have you on their team, basically.
Mhm.
And so what are you
Yes.
doing next? Like, did you decide to do some therapy? Like, have you just been doing it
Mhm.
yourself? Like, what's working well for you, Abby?
Mhm. Definitely, I think the whole thing with the bill
Hmm.
definitely was some sort of therapy for me, because I was
Yeah,
able to be helping
of
others.
course.
And I did start therapy in Manhattan,
Hmm.
Kansas.
Hmm.
So that definitely helped me too. And he was paying for it. So, because I don't get
Okay.
insurance because across the same line. So that was one of his probation things, is that he had to pay for my therapy. And so I've kind of just been doing the advocacy stuff in that.
That was fantastic, Abby. And,
Hmm.
it's ironic, but like, so I was 18, remember a cover of time,
Hmm.
and 18 years old was also when I was testifying on Capitol Hill for the Sexual Assault
Hmm.
Victims Bill of Rights. So, like you, I found
Yes.
like my therapy was making change happen. I didn't have
Yes.
a therapist. I think I tried once, but it was like, I think we're having a difficult day. I'm like, yes, we are having a difficult day. Like,
Yeah.
I don't
Yes.
need you to tell me how I'm feeling. I need you to give me some
Feeling.
solutions. But that's like kind
Yeah.
of like here I am now with the podcast. Like I want our listeners to like use this as a great way to learn what people find helpful. And if it's like empowering and finding other survivors and then getting laws passed, like to me, that's pretty good therapy.
Yeah,
But that's
exactly.
it's so exciting. And I know you're not going to stop. And it's great that
Yes.
hopefully some of our listeners who are still in college, I Take Back the Night, we have about 75 volunteers right now, believe it or not. And the
Hmm.
majority of whom are, in college age. We have some high school and we have some that are just a little beyond that. But it's quite a like fabulous network of empowered
Hmm.
volunteers who just, work hard on any of our projects. So I think your story is really going to inspire them.
Hmm.
Plus our listeners who are at campuses all over the country. Just like when I saw, so listeners like people apply sometimes. And, Abby's, yours came in. I was like, this is great. This is like so similar to my story. Mine was 3 weeks in. Abby's was 2 weeks in.
Yeah.
I you knew him less than I did. At least I was out on an official like French dinner date.
Yeah.
But still, it's like, you just don't think that this would ever happen. And you think you could trust, and we should never feel like we're naive just because we trust someone who comes off as like trying to walk us home in a rainstorm, like it's crazy. But I'm so excited that you were on the show. Is there any, you wrote so many great things. Is there any other, and I loved all the things that you want to tell people. Is there like 2 things you want to close with that you are, what else do you want to share with listeners?
Well, I do think this is really cool. I don't know if it's sharing with listeners, but my mom actually, I didn't know this, but she told me that she had listened to a bunch of episodes of your podcast during my trial because she didn't know.
Cool.
She didn't.
Yeah, that's true.
She was trying to figure out how to help me during my trial and what I was going through. So that was it's like a full circle moment now.
That's so perfect.
But probably that it truly does get better, and like people would tell me that during the trial, and I was like, it's not gonna get better, but it with time, and it just gets better, and it's your story to tell, so whatever you want to do with it, and if you don't want to ever talk about it again, that's your decision. And if that's how you want to heal.
I thought of a really good question though, Abby, because you stayed. So my assailant was also a fellow student, right? And I, like, in the middle of everything, 2,000 people signing a petition, I was like, I need to leave. So I was the one who left, and he was there because I didn't have anyone willing to take my case for a criminal. But this is where I was headed. Like, and then I transferred back because he assaulted another girl and was gone, and I thought he was gone forever. But like, this is what I was going to think about. Like, after, there was such a thing about like dealing with trauma and getting it better, like the year mark, right? Like last fall for you, like 1 year in, and you're in the same, you're in the same place. Like, I was curious, like, did you ever go back in that party house where it was? Like, did you ever walk in there and be like, I've got this?
I did go back, and with my case, I was very lucky that the fraternity was on my side. A lot of the cases, I know that they did stuff to his mattress. I know they dumped some food on it.
Oh my gosh, okay.
So they really stood behind me, which does not happen a lot of the times.
Right.
And so that made it way easier to deal with if I wanted to go back.
And just reclaim
I think,
experience, And you think what? Go ahead.
I think it, at first, like, being like, my life revolved around the case. I'd be like, oh, I was standing here where this happened, or I would drive by where I got picked up by the police. But even, like I said, with time, it just kind of, like, I'll still think about it, be like, oh, that's where it happened, but it's not as painful to think about. So, but I was just really thankful that he left the school.
For sure.
Pretty much right after. So I didn't have to deal with being scared to see him.
Yeah.
The first couple of days I was, but then he went away, so I didn't have to deal with it.
Yeah, one last thing. And for our listeners, like, who didn't have the same, like, blessings and luckiness, like, I had to see mine a lot, and he was pretty, well, not a lot. Like, if I would see someone, there was only like 3 bars, like, it wasn't as big as K-State. And so I think you just have to go, and the thing that comes to mind is the solution to pollution is dilution. like if you just keep reprogramming the triggers, and just changing how they make you feel, like the space, or like seeing people who look like that guy. Like, to me, it was just trying to put something else in my head, except for like trauma and like flashback. But it sounds like you were able to do that really well, Abby, like with whatever you did. It sounds like you had such brilliant instincts to do all the right stuff. And I'm so really grateful that I got to meet you. And
Thank you.
yeah, for sure. And I cannot wait to our listeners can look up what you are doing to change more laws and more policies. And, perhaps this will become like your full-time path. There's so many opportunities out there, right? Like at crisis centers too, and lawyers who fight the good fight. So I can't wait to follow you and see what you decide to do next. So it's very exciting to catch you at this point. And I'm sure you'll only grow stronger and more brave and more bold in more places. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And listeners, do that good, journal, everything is good. And Abby's story is certainly another, different set of circumstances that perhaps resonate with some of you. And if not, maybe there's some idea of, wow, I can reframe that or rethink it. So until we see you again on another episode of the podcast, please take care and stay strong. And together we are definitely thriving and surviving. See you again soon.
Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Dear Katie. These conversations are never easy, but they're always necessary, and we're so grateful you chose to share this space with us. If something in today's episode stirred something within you, please give yourself what you need. Whether that's rest, support, or just a deep breath, you're not alone. To hear more stories, resources, and survivor-centered conversations, be sure to subscribe and follow us on your favorite podcast platform. We want to hear from you, so please leave us a review and share your feedback. Your thoughts help us create episodes that resonate with listeners. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.